All right, welcome back to episode 7 of the Mental Wealth Champs podcast. My name is Ice. I'm the host. You guys know me. We got another great episode today, especially after an amazing win yesterday. We're going to definitely dive into that real quick. But let's get the intros out the way so we can, of course, talk about that. So say, your name, year, major, position, and where you're from. We'll start with Ed.
So my name is Edwin Reed. I'm from Miami, Florida. I play wide receiver. My major is sports business, and I double minor in coaching and sociology. And then, what was the thing you said?
Position you play?
Wide receiver.
My name's Sexton. I'm a sports business major. I'm a outside linebacker, like safety hybrid. I'm from Dover, Ohio, and I'm a fourth-year senior.
My name is Nick Brown, Ayersville, Ohio, fifth-year senior. I play defensive end, and my major is exercise science.
Verquatice, Dukia. Sorry, y'all don't know my real name.
The man.
I'm a senior, majoring in sport business, and I play running back. I'm just playing. I play nose guard. Yep.
You said you play running back.
He wished back to his rugby days.
All right, we're going to jump right into it. The Mount Union Miracle. We got to talk about it. That was a crazy-ass game yesterday. I was watching it with my roommates, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, we thought it was over. But with 4 seconds left, that was God right there. That's all I gotta say.
No other way to explain it.
So my question to you all is, what was the emotion knowing that you guys were down at first? Like, what was the team like? And then, of course, afterwards, how were they like?
At first, it kind of felt like a flashback, low-key of North Central. And I'm like, nah, we can't think negative. We had a couple people down on knees, but I was like, we just got to keep positive. And, when we, the play we practiced Falcon, we all the receivers looked at each other and we was just like, we're not going out like that. Mm-hmm. And, we just prayed on it and, just happened, man. It was crazy.
Honestly, like, it was hurting. Like, they scored, we were down, and we were fighting. I mean, with what was like a minute left. But then we knew the offense at least was going to get a chance to throw something out. Braxton's got a cannon of an arm. And I'll be honest, like, to see it from my point of view, like, I'll never forget that because, like, I saw it all. It hit off Robbie's helmet, and Wayne just caught it right there, tiptoed in. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I think one of the things that they stressed to us the most, like since we come in as freshmen, one of the foundations of Mount Union football is hope. And so obviously getting the ball back with 20 seconds left down, it's easy to feel defeated, but playing for Mount Union and knowing who we got on our team is like, man, there's always a chance. And so to be there and to watch, the offense march down the field, get us into a position to be able to even make that play. Man, I saw Braxton throw that ball up, and then everything was just like an explosion, man. The crowd went crazy. The sideline started sprinting out there. It was awesome.
See, I can't even tell you like how like the team was feeling. Like it was like straight tunnel vision because it was like once they scored, we came out the field. I was just like, dang, I was like, it's on us. It was basically on us, but. Like, I just remember watching it because I was, like, all the way towards the end. I'm, like, the closest to the locker room. I was like, we win or lose, I'm just going to be the closest one to the locker room. So I'm watching it. I was like, dang, it ain't going to make it. And I just look over. And then I look back up and I just see everybody cheering. Everybody took off on the sideline. I'm still on the sideline. I'm like, I'm not finna move. I don't know what they about to say. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the scoreboard change. I looked, it went to 23. I was like, oh my God, I just took off. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, honestly. That game was insane. We were just talking about this before y'all walked in. It's crazy how the ball bounced backwards 10 yards.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if you redo that 1,000 times.
I see the ball was short, so I'm trying to come back to the ball. and I seen Robbie go up. It just bounced right off. It was like slow-mo, like a movie, slow motion.
Literally.
And then it just went right into his hands. Like, can't draw that up.
No,
Something you see in Madden, dude.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime thing right there.
That was like a scene from a movie, bro. Like, it was crazy.
So now that you guys, I mean, a win is a win, right? So
Absolutely.
take it, and keep on moving forward. But, with moving forward, how do we feel about, coming into the first week of the playoffs and eventually, getting to that Sag Bowl? How do we feel right now? As a team, individually, everything?
We're meant to be here. I think that's, I feel like that's the general feeling of the team. You have moments like that where it's literally a miracle. It's the Mount Union miracle, and I think Ed said earlier, that's God, and that's one of those things where when something like that happens, that's how you know. Like, we are supposed to be in the position that we're in. Like, it's destiny. You know what I'm saying? It's written. It's been written.
Like, morale high. Like, there's no way like you can't get ready to play a game. Like, even like next game and the game out there, because you gonna keep thinking about like, dang, we won like that. So like, just imagine what we'll do like once we like clicking on all cylinders. So it's a morale booster for sure.
Huge.
Yeah. How about you?
Honestly, like, we know what we got to do. We know the team we are, and when we're firing on all cylinders, no one can beat us. It's just kind of having that consistency and staying up, but not getting too high on ourselves, but not getting too low. Like, we squeak by, but we got to be better, and I think we all know that. I mean, we're Mount Union. We always got to be better.
Nah, man. I know everybody's locked in, ready to go. For me, it's been 2 years since I've been back in the playoffs, so, I'm excited to get back going, get in the playoffs, and make this run. It's been a long 3 years, 4 years. So, it's ready to get back to where we belong.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. Like, I feel like this is definitely the year. Continue to have each other's backs, and let's go win it. That's the objective right now.
Absolutely.
But one thing I do want to ask you guys is, just let the audience know, how is it having like teammates from all over the U.S., everywhere on the team? Like, how do you guys gel together? How do you guys, become close and, close knit?
It's fun. It's awesome. It's fun. Like that's the only way I can put it, because like, all of us is different, but like all of us the same at the same time. Like, like even when we look at like other teams' rosters, we'll look at it like most of it's like Ohio or just like one part of town. Like, our offense got so many people from so many places. Our defense got so many people so many different places, and like we all just come together and just be like perfect. We just hitting on all cylinders. So it's crazy like how we just get together and just form.
Yeah, I think a big thing is like, if you come to Mount Union, you come to Mount Union to win a national championship. And so, I'm from small town Ohio, Duke's from Memphis, Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're from two totally different places, but, like I said, when you come here with a purpose. And I think that's one of the things that brings this team so close together, and that's the reason like we're all brothers, is because we're all here for the same reason. And we all want the same thing, and we're all willing to do whatever it takes to get it. So, I mean, I feel it all comes down to the chip,
I mean, it's kind of like what you guys said, like, we're all the same person. Like, we come here, there's a reason we're here. Like, we have goals, we have the goal of getting a ring. But, like, we are very similar. Like, you look at someone on offense, defense, special teams, whoever it is, like, we all kind of act the same. We all kind of, like, have that same swagger and stuff when we get on the field. You get in your zone and stuff. But, it's just real eye-opening. Like, I'm from Ohio, too. Like, that first year, like, coming in, and we had people from California, Alaska.
That was a crazy
Shout out Holly. But like, just you get to meet so many different people, and it's just a great experience. I mean, that's what you go to college for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just live life and meet new people.
I would say, being from Miami, it's it's multicultural, so I've dealt with all different types of people. But like, coming here, I never thought that it'd it'd be certain, players or, people from certain areas that I was just like, dang, like these are good players, you know what I'm saying? So especially being at Mount, every player that's on this team is, been the best player at their high school. So that's probably been the thing for me, and it just we all have learned from that, and gain a sense of respect for each other. So that's an important thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of different people from different backgrounds, but like y'all said, we're here to win a national championship. Y'all here for the same goal, which we're more alike than different at the end of the day. So kind of, talking about the team, individually, I want you guys to talk about your recruitment process up until like now. Give the audience a snapshot of, the process of being a student athlete from the beginning. Whoever wants to start.
I guess I'll go first. Mine was it was weird because like I think the first person I talked to that was from like Mount Union he was the recruiting coordinator before we got here.
Van Havel.
Yeah,
Van Havel. Yeah.
Man,
That's who I talked to. I talked to him, and I was like, what's Mount Union? And I looked it up. I was like, dang. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep that on the back burner. I talked to him later. I didn't put it off, but like we talk every now and then. I was like, that's in Ohio. I don't know how I'm gonna get to Ohio, so I'm just keep. So like the trail was kind of quiet. Then it was a couple of schools in like Kansas or Kentucky, and I was like, I don't really want to go home. So I was like, I'm gonna take that visit to Mount Union. First day I get up here, it's frozen, it's ice everywhere. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be. I was like, I don't want to do this. I seen snow before, but I ain't never want to see snow every day. Like everybody moving around like it's normal. I got on like 3 layers. I'm like, bro. Then I go to the little press box. I see all the trophies. I was like, I think I could probably do it. So like my recruiting process was like crazy. Cause like everybody around, like in like the high school area around Memphis, they was like, you should play somewhere. So I was like, ain't no way, like I'm not about to try to play in college. So once I got the chance, I was like, I'm just gonna roll with Mount Union. Yeah, I see this where the chips laid.
So for me, like in high school, I had always told my coaches that I wanted to play Division I football somewhere. And, I had a really good senior year, and then I went into my wrestling season as a senior, and I ended up tearing 2 ligaments in my knee. I tore my LCL, my PCL, and then I ended up dislocating my shoulder in my last match and tearing my labrum. So after that, I had kind of given up on college athletics. I was just gonna go to school and just try to be a bodybuilder for real. But then I was sitting in study hall one day and I got a call, 330. I was like, 330? What is 330? I never even heard that area code. And I answered it, and it was Coach Miller, and he was like, hey, we would love to have you down on a visit.
VK called me before too, like in the middle of class. I'm like,
I swear I was sitting there on my computer. I get a call, hello. But I told my parents, and again, like Duke, I really didn't know anything about Mount. I knew that they were a really good team. I knew it was a really good program, but I had never actually taken any time to do any research or anything. So I was like, whatever, I might as well. Got nothing else going for me right now. I got nobody else calling me, so I came down on my visit. It was the same thing as Duke. I mean, it was frozen. It was cold. They took me in the locker room, let me put on the jersey. But it was like Duke, again, like Duke, once I got up into the press box and I'm seeing the trophies and they pull out the rings.
Try them on.
And they say try it on, see how it feels. And I remember looking at my hand and I was like, that feels good. That feels good. I want that for myself.
Go ahead.
Go for it, bro.
I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
Like even in high school, I never really lost either, and I was like, I'm not trying to go nowhere and just lose, cause high school I only lost twice. I was like, I'm not finna go nowhere and just be losing consistently. And my recruitment was kind of weird too, because the school that I played for, Germantown, I didn't go to Germantown, so it was my coach used to text me all the time, like, yeah, coaches came here to see you, but like my school, like 10, 15 minutes away. I'm like, well, like you could tell them, like, text me, call me. So it was kind of weird being. Yeah, the school I went to, Power Center Academy, and it was like I didn't have a football team at my school, during football season I would go play. I go to Germantown every day. I go play at Germantown, and then that used to be fun to get out of school early and just to go to Germantown. I had made my own name for myself at Germantown, like a chance, like that's where it started at Germantown. So it's like I made my whole name for myself there, and it's like, I thought you went to Germantown. Like, no, I go to PCA, and I was at PCA, and like it was fun, the football season. But then like once the senior year started, I was like, dang, my recruitment, like I'm not meeting coaches like face to face like that because they going to Germantown. They like, well, I don't want to go to this little school in East Memphis. Like I want to go to this little school in East Memphis. It's like 15 minutes away, so it was kind of weird. Yeah.
But you said PCA, isn't that one school on Zoe 101?
That's what it is.
Oh man.
Same acronym, but we want to come like that.
Yeah. For me, my recruitment, well, I would say my breakout year in high school was definitely senior year. I wasn't really getting a lot of opportunity. Freshman, sophomore, junior year, I didn't have the best year. But senior year, like I scored like every game, and then that's when school started, to talk to me. But it was just talking. I didn't get a lot of offers until we played this one. My high school played this one, like a top-ranked high school in my area. I was the first player that's scoring them that season, and then that's when I got my first offer. But I really didn't choose make a decision until like February of my senior year. I had some offers, but then I was doing more research, just reaching out to every college coach you can think of, just sending my tape. And then I hear about Mount Union, and ever since then, like I did research on the program. I'm like, okay, this might be worth a visit. And at the time, the coach that was recruiting me was Coach Ganell. Yeah, he was
crazy.
Cool.
He was crazy.
Cool. So I took my visit, and like you guys, it was snowing, it was icy, it was cold. I'm like, I hate this, because I'm from down south.
That wind.
Yeah, it was
Not
nice.
no reason. It's windy for no reason, bro.
No reason. So went on the visit, and while I was driving back home, I'm like, this is definitely far from home, but I think I found my next 4 years of where I'm going to stay. And from there I just took a shot, and we here today. So that's my process.
See, like my process is completely different. Like I live 45 to an hour away. 3 of my high school coaches went here, played football, all got rings. Like, so it's like, damn, like I didn't even know if I wanted to play. I wanted to play basketball in college at first, and then like, I'm a lockdown. I can lock down, but like I don't know. Junior year I had a really good year. Senior year I had an even better year. So I ended up talking to one of the coaches there, Coach Matt Reese. He played here, linebacker. He was like, "You want to play?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I can text Coach Miller now, and he'll text you." Like, so yeah, just let him know. Like, I'm looking into it. And I came here for a game day visit, and I remember like looking at the program and seeing how many people they had on like the roster, and I was like, "Dang, like I'm gonna be one of those guys. I'm gonna be that dude starting out there." And my dad told me, he was like, "You just got to be a stud to dress." Like, I bet you all these kids were just studs in high school, but look at them now, you got to grind. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's true. Like, but you also, like you guys said, you see the rings, you see like everything on the visit, and it's just like, I want this. Like, I can see myself out there playing. I can see myself winning the championship, whatever. But I ended up coming back on a visit and everything, and it was just like, dude, like, I can see myself here. But it's actually a funny story. So my neighbor, when I was growing up, he was from Alliance, so he was a townie basically. And he passed away, and they had the funeral up here. I think I was like 8th grade, like I was young. And my dad was like, "Oh, like we're in Alliance, let's stop by Mount Union, like see the campus and everything." And we were driving through, and I was just looking at it like, whatever. Like I'm not even thinking about college at that age. I just remember like we left, and was thinking, why the hell would anyone go here? Why the hell would anyone go here?
Alliance, Ohio,
I
man.
swear. And then, like, 6 years later, I'm taking a visit here, and I was just like, of course, this is how it works out. It's very ironic, but I'll never forget that.
No, I kind of want to add something to that. Like, coming here for my visit, I'm like, this is like the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
But now that, we've been here for some time, and I look at other schools, I'm like, okay, Alliance
not
actually
bad.
has some,
No, it's not bad.
some places.
It's not.
When you,
Nothing.
Nothing.
it's just
No sheets.
No sheets.
What?
That's
Sheets is a lifesaver, not gonna lie.
It's the only thing around. Open that late, bro.
You right. All right, Ed, what about you?
My recruiting process was crazy, and just the story how I got here. So it was a World Cup in like I think 2012 or 14, and ESPN was on, and Mount was in the semifinal playing somebody, and I didn't know nothing about Union, but I'm watching it, and I'm just like, oh, like school is good, whatever. So fast forward, my freshman year, I was on the JV team, and they were kind of sleeping on me. It was kind of a lot of favoritism, and then I practiced with the varsity, and kind of like later on they weren't playing me or whatever. So I was thinking about quitting, and the receiver coach from the varsity was like, come back, just work. He was like, I would have had you on varsity, you would have still been on the bench, and I came back, and that next year I started. And I just continued to put the work in. And my junior had a big year. Senior had a big year. Had a lot of interest from Michigan State, Miami, NIU. Went on a lot of visits. And due to my grades, I couldn't go to the school I wanted, which was Michigan State. So I was just kind of like, dang, like I know I'm gonna play ball somewhere, but like I don't know where. And this is like January, and signing day is coming up in like a month or two.
Yeah.
And I get a call, and it's Mount Union, Van Havel. Van Havel found some studs, like studs. He's found a lot of studs. He went to Michigan. The crazy thing is he went to Michigan State like a year after he got Duke, and he was recruiting coordinator analysts there too and stuff. And I came on my visit with my dad, and I was like, dang, I rock with it. That's what I like. I had seen the roster and everything, and I like the facilities, and signed Mount Union, and I haven't regretted anything that that happens the way it happens. I never second guess it. I just go with it. So it's turned out good.
Yeah, being a student athlete, in high school and in that recruitment process, like you can't count out Mount Union. It's like this is a student athlete school.
No, yeah.
Like.
With like 60%, what, something like that?
Some crazy number like that. Everyone, if you don't play any sports here, what are you doing?
Somebody's playing something.
Or you just from the area.
Yeah, that too.
So our next thing, with this, being a mental health, club and podcast, we're gonna do a quick mental health check-in. Just tell the audience and let us know like how you are truly doing. So on a scale of 1 to 10, just say, 10 being the best, how you're feeling, and 1 being not so good. Just give that number and then just say why.
I say right now, I'm probably about like an 8 right now. I've just been getting flooded with a lot of work, and then I took a semester off due to I tore my ACL, and just trying to get back used to schoolwork and everything. Family, college lifestyle. But the good thing is, I have people around me, and most people that have God, you know what I'm saying? So, I just continue to get close with him, and having my teammates, to uplift me. It's been good, so not bad.
Good. I'd say like probably 6 or 7. Like it's that point in the semester where you're just being flooded with different assignments, events. You got practice. Yeah.
Your body's banged
any
up.
day I got a presentation in that class, we're doing like a 2, bro. But
yes.
No, it's just like I think for me, like one thing is like I can tell how well mentally I am just depending on how my room looks, because mentally, if I'm like doing good, I'm very stable and everything. Like my room's clean, but if I look around and like it's just messy for like about a week, it's like yeah, maybe I should just like relax, like get my mind straight, and like, I can get my stuff done, be productive. But like just little things like that, I've noticed over the years that like help me to kind of realize where I'm at mentally.
It's crazy that you say that about your room because I'm literally the same way, the same exact way. Like today, I had to, clean my room. I needed a little reset for the week, and this is really the last full week until Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just grind out this week, get everything done, so I don't have to worry about anything during the break. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say about a 7 or 8, just because, like y'all said, is that point in the semester where things pick up and just get absolutely crazy. So just trying to grind out all my assignments, and then also I'm excited for track season because our first meet is December 3rd. So I've been grinding. Getting ready for that. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I'd say I'm probably like a 5 or 6. So I mean, same thing with you guys. You know what I mean? Like it's that time of the semester where everything is starting to pile up. But for me, it's my last year playing football here, and I sustained an injury early on in the season, and to go down like that so early, in my last ride like that was tough. Mm-hmm. It was really tough, and so one of the biggest things that has gotten me through all this is my teammates. Like y'all boys are my family, and from the moment I got hurt and I was sitting on that table on the sidelines with the trainer and the doctor checking me out, like the amount of people that walked up to me and like gave me a pat on the head and were like, "Hey man, we're here with you. Like, we're still with you." And to go out to practice and have people come up and talk to me, and to go to the games and have the young guys like come and ask me for advice on what they're doing, like it makes me feel like I'm still a meaningful part of the team. Mm-hmm. And so like that's really been my saving grace, is this team, this family that we got here. Like I wouldn't have been able to do it without y'all. So I mean, I'm just so grateful to be a part of something like this, for real.
Man, so like about a 6 or a 7. For one, it's like so many people that got hurt around me in my position group. So it's like now I got like pressure about that. And then, like, I just got pressure, period. Cause, like, if it wasn't nobody hurt, I would still have pressure. Like, outside factors, like, I feel like I gotta make sure, like, I put on for everybody back at home. Like, I just feel like I'm the reflection of a lot of people. So it's like I gotta make sure everybody can count on me. So I say a 6 or a 7, and the work piling up. So it's like
stack.
Yeah, I know, like after a while, I'm gonna be way better. It's just like, you get the little bump, like, hey, you gotta get out of shape. Like, ooh, I mean, you hit a bump, I get out of shape, like, ooh, what did I hit? But it's like, I'm good. It's just like, it's really the injury part. It's like, dang, you don't know. Well, y'all probably know how to feel, but from my perspective, like, I ain't hurt, but I'm just looking at them like so bad that like
you feel like you gotta step up even more. So. Just because,
like, I got a lot of people who I'm doing it for. It's like, man, I got to do it for them too. It's like
So yeah, let's kind of like talk about the injury portion, because I know Ed, you were out for a while because your injury, and obviously you're out for the season because your injury. So my first question to you, Ed, is like, what has helped you through that process? Like, what motivated you to get back? To where you are now, because I remember the exact practice when it happened. I remember seeing it. I'm like, yeah, that don't look right when you went down.
Man, so when it happened, like, I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, man, like, I hope it's not what I think it is. Like, at first felt like I broke my leg, but I got the MRI and they said it was ACL, just ACL, no meniscus or anything. So I always try to think positive about certain situations, and I think that's one of the things God's really blessed me with. So I cried about it. I was down about it for a while, and then this has been happening my whole life. I've always been doubted. So I just knew this was another another bump in the road. You know, like Duke said, to just keep pushing. And I had my trainer, Coach Green, who was a big part of that. We 6 a.m. Just continue to work and get better. There were days where I was down. I couldn't walk for like 2 months. I had to learn how to rewalk. And then on top of that, I'm sitting at home. I can't walk or anything. And I see my teammates. I'm watching film every day. And it hurt. But I just continue to push myself. Continue to most importantly, just keep my faith in God. I'm always thinking next. So, when it happened, I was just like, this is a time for me to slow down and just focus on other areas besides football that I can change or grow at, growing myself. And I think that's really one of the biggest things I've learned from it. It's just learning more about myself and growing more about myself and finding out how I could be better as a man, better as a football player, studying film. I watched bucket loads of film, just on the teammates, but just that, just continue to push myself and, always drive myself with, how others have doubted me. So just continue to put that in my head, they won't let you, you won't be the same, you won't come back, you won't be the same player. So that's just continue to stick in my head and just continue to push myself.
That's a key thing that you did say. Like, when you are hurt, you can't really do anything about it. Focusing on yourself and how you can grow in other aspects of your life. And I relate to that. When last season, I was, out ever since the Ohio Northern game because I was dealing with COVID and the heart condition and all that stuff. Yeah. So, like, when you're put in situations like that, you really find out who you are, when you face adversity. And you can either, cry about it, complain, or you can say, what, it is what it is. What can I do about my situation right now? And I feel like that's what separates, great people and, people who, just fold in certain situations.
No, yeah, you got to be a dog to come back from that ACL.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, everyday work. And like you said, it's just that having that faith, continue to push yourself. I remember we were talking about it. We were in the same boat. We were both injured.
Yeah.
Talking about that, talking about this podcast, before it got started. And, to just see where we're at now, that just shows how we continue to push. That's what we got to do. And that's God, that's all. Yeah. That's all we can give the glory to is God.
Mm-hmm. And then, for you, Nick, like you talked about how, your role has recently changed, just being on the team. You're not on the field right now, but you're still there for, your teammates, your coaches, and everybody, in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you coping with it? I know, like, you're there and you're doing your best, but let's be real, it sucks. It sucks. So how are you, coping with it?
Well, I mean, like, first of all, this is my 5th year, like I said before. It's a season that I shouldn't have even had to begin with. I got extremely fortunate with an unfortunate situation that was COVID. I was blessed to be able to even have the opportunity to come back and play again. And I had never started here before. I was a second string player. I was a backup. So this going into this season, my only objective was to be the best player on the field at any given time. Like this off season, I worked so hard. Like it was my only mission was to be the best. And, I came out, had a really good camp, had a really good first game. And I felt like, I had finally climbed the mountain.
Yeah.
I was on top of the mountain. Like, I did it. I proved everybody who doubted me wrong. And I proved, even more importantly, I proved all the people that believed in me right. Mm-hmm. So, like week 2, Marietta, first quarter, I think it was the first series of the game, I hit a real nice cross chop on a tackle. I got a sack. And, I was riding the wave, and then, I was like said, on top of the mountain, all of a sudden the mountain crumbled right underneath me, and you know, I fell flat on my ass. I was on the ground, and it was tough. You know, like it's like Ed said, when it first happens, you're like, man, I really hope that it's not what I think it is.
Yeah.
I really hope that it's not as bad as my body is telling me it is. And you know, I had finally achieved everything that I wanted myself to be. I was a leader. I was a good player. I was a good teammate. Like I had put myself in the position that I wanted to be in. So to have all of that just ripped right out of my hands, out of something that was completely out of my control, it was heartbreaking, for real.
That's the thing. Like, it's nothing you could control. Like, when something like that happens,
I know.
All you can do is just think a better outcome.
But the one thing, like I said earlier, you know, my teammates have been a big part of it. When I got hurt, immediately with the trainer, I started working with the trainers. Like, what can we do? Like, what rehab can I do? And, you know, for the next 8 weeks, you know, all I did every day was rehab. I showed up to every 6 a.m. lift. I was doing rehab over in the corner where y'all were doing workouts. You know, I was still going to film, making sure I knew what plays we were running and what the offenses that we were going to play were running. I went to every game, every practice. You know, I was always there. And the past week, I went out and I tried to practice on it again, and it didn't work. So that was when it like really set in, like, okay, I'm done. And it was a tough pill to swallow, but I mentioned earlier that one of the things that has helped me out a lot is the young guys on the team. And I'm gonna give a shout out, Elijah Franklin.
There you go.
During the preseason, our position coach had paired us up together, and I was supposed to be like his mentor and like kind of show him the ins and outs of how the defense works, how the D-line works. And so when I got hurt, you know, I was like, okay, I can either dwell on this, I can shut down, I can stop being a good teammate, or, you know, now I can focus all my energy into making sure that Elijah is going to be the best player out there. Like, I want, you know, if I can't do it, I want him to do it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, something that's really helped me cope is just like being there for all my teammates and like going up to them on the sidelines during games and asking them what they're seeing and telling them what I'm seeing, and, you know, giving them like, all right, you know, if the tackle's opening up laterally, like he's shooting his hands low, don't do a long arm, do a cross chop, like it's right there, it's gonna work. And then watching them go out there and work that move and get the sack, it's like, there it is. So, you know, just still being with my family has been the biggest coping mechanism for me. Like, just still fully embracing my role on the team, even though it has changed. I understand that I do still have a role, and, you know, I can help people still, and that's my only focus. Like, from the time I got hurt till the time we won a national championship, my only goal is to make sure that all my dogs are playing to their best abilities, and if there's any way that I can help, then I'm gonna help them do that, because I want to win. I love this team, man. I want to see all my guys win. So
yeah, that's what a great leader does, you know. And like, you know, with, you know, the first string, if they get hurt, the next man got to be up. They got to be ready to play. So having leaders like you, the next man will be up, because you know, you teaching them the ways and, you know, the right from wrong, and just giving them advice that, you know, an older brother or a leader would do. So that's amazing to hear.
That's the Mount Union way, bro.
That is the Mount Union way.
They tell you from day one, next man up. Like, all of us have seen players from our freshman year till now, some of the most important players on the team, go down with injuries. And we don't even skip a beat. You know, they plug the next guy in, and the expectation is the same. And I know, you know, people who don't understand, people who aren't on the football team might think it's corny, but like, the standard is the standard. Like, if you play at Mount Union, there's an expectation. You're going to be the best at your position in the country. Whether you're a starter or you're a JV guy who just got called up because of injuries, like, you're expected to perform. So
Machine keeps rolling.
yeah, exactly. It's the machine, bro. It's the machine.
All right, so kind of like switching gears, I want to, you know, talk to Duke about, so you had your football camp this summer, right? Free football camp. Okay, free. I want to give you a chance, kind of, just to speak on that and talk about, the importance of giving back to your community and why you wanted to in the first place.
I came up with that in like 4 or 5 months. It was probably like, I want to say April or May. And I was just up. I was like, man, I'm gonna have a football camp. Everybody was looking at me like, what? I was like, I'm gonna have a free football camp. They was like, why you gonna have a football camp?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll be around like Little League coaches. Like my dad coached Little League team, like, and I just be around them every time I get home. So I'm like, I was like, I know about football. It was like, and like I know like all these coaches, like, well, not coaches, but like all these young players in college. I was like, bro, all of us can get together and like coach a camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bro, I gotta find some way to give back to my like town. My city, like. So I came up with it, and then I was like, I started posting, and I was like, ooh, this ain't as easy as I thought. It's like getting up.
Yeah, like fundraising and stuff like that, all that.
But it still wasn't like bad, because leading up to it, like after a while, I was just like, I just want to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make sure like coaches and stuff, because like Dre, O, and T, they came down and coached, and then like a couple like folks that I knew that was already playing in college, because like what I wanted to do was like all the coaches was like young in college and they like established, so like it's all of us young giving back to like the youth, and everything free. They got t-shirts, they got lunch, water and juice because it was hot.
What kind of juice?
Gatorade.
Okay.
It was, man, because boy, it was hot, but it was fun though. It was like I was just out there just like coaching them. It's like they were just running around for like 2-3 hours. It's like, dang, like
that's what the
this
little
is
kids
like,
need, though.
I'm like, this was, I'm like, it was so fun. Like this is what like football is about. Mm-hmm. Like, and all of them was just like, I can't wait to do this again. I can't wait to do this again. I'm like, dang, I can see myself doing this like every year.
Yeah.
And like y'all quote me on this. I'm doing it again next year, and if it's bigger, and it's gonna be bigger than it was last year, because we gonna make sure we all in on this, because we got to keep this going from every year.
All right.
The Duke Hill Foundation.
The Duke Hill Foundation.
Duke Hill
That's nice. That's a nice ring.
Quoted.
Man, quoted. It was just like, and then they was like, I want to race you, and then like I was out there showing like what I had to do. They was like, you so fast. They out there. Dre had like some like goggles on. It was like they calling Dre like Patrick Mahomes. Like someone was like mic'd up too, so they like I'm mic'd up. That was just so fun. And it was like,
tell me, what was your biggest takeaway, or what did you learn from just coordinating that camp together?
If I could do something like that, I could do anything for real. Cause like I did it like that short amount of time. Cause like April, I was like, that's when I first was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna post something about it. I was like, okay. Then I had to get everything together, and then like he got up to like 105 people had registered, and I was like, that's when I like seen 105. I was like, because at first I was like, well, maybe like 50 people. I won't have to cut it off and nothing like that. It got to like 105. I was like, all right, I gotta cut it off. I just gotta cut it off right there. Yeah. It was like, dang. And then like the day before, I was like, I'm really about to have my own camp. And then I did it, and when I got done, I was just looking around. I was like, I just did that, bro. Like it was fun. Like that whole weekend was just fun.
No, that's amazing that you in your heart you wanted to get back to your community.
Yeah, like it was
a lot of athletes and
like,
people of any background or whatever job they're doing should give back.
A lot of people do it and like they charge. I was like, man, why would I charge to give away something like I done like got for free? Like
when I seen he did it, I'm like, dang, I'm like, that's a good idea. Trendset though, I'm not even like he was trendset, because I seen a couple other people have some camps too.
But it don't even matter. Like even if somebody did like say like, okay, I'm gonna have a camp I have to do this, like they giving back to their hometown. Right? And like what I was telling people, because like I had like the interviews and stuff like in Memphis, like the news, I was like, if one person from the camp be like, well, that's gonna make me try to go play in college, then I did my job. And I had like a couple people that like came talk. I know like y'all probably remember like I played high school with Cameron Kinley. He played for Navy and he went to the NFL and was like he came and talked to him, and he was just basically telling him like how he wasn't like the best player on his team, like best player in college and all that. And I had like somebody with like real NFL experience talk to him, so I had every level. It was like everybody was just like
Gems right there.
Literally.
Gems for the kids. You never know who you can inspire.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
the great thing.
if I inspire like one person, they're like, bro, I want to focus on playing football for real, like taking it serious, and they'll just be like, man,
that hard one.
that's my
Life
Lord
changing.
Yeah, it is.
Stuff like that's life changing, man.
All right, to kind of pivot again, I did want to ask you a question, Ian. Like, I've seen, your grind this season, just from an outside perspective. Like, I see you lifting, with Jesse, and, like, you're just, every time I see you, you just locked in. So, like, and you've been balling out this season, too. So, I kind of want to ask you, like,
Appreciate you.
what's your source of motivation, this season, and, like, where did this Ian come from?
Honestly, there's a lot that goes into it.
For sure.
First, like my family and like my support group. Like I couldn't be here without my parents, my grandparents. Like a main figure in my life, my grandpa Butch, he passed away that COVID summer. And that was when I was starting to get back too. I was like coming in with high hopes because my freshman year I came in with a broken foot. I had to get surgery. It was 2 days after graduation.
I didn't
know
that either.
Yeah, but if you remember me freshman year, I was a little chunky, bro. Like, people looked at me. People looked at me like, "Oh, this dude sucks," right? And that whole year, like mentally, like I wasn't in the right place. I think, like you guys talk about, when you're injured, you can either dwell on it or you can just kind of adapt and change where you're coming from. So, like that whole year, you're coming into a new place. Like I wasn't too confident. My mental health wasn't in the best. And also, like, I didn't like some of the older guys. They weren't very like welcoming. They didn't reach out to me. Like, if anything, they were just,
Swear.
they weren't very good at like bringing in the younger guys and bringing them under their wing. But I think we've changed that. We do a great job with the team we have now.
Absolutely.
Bringing in the younger guys, making them feel welcome. But that year was really rough. And at one point, I wanted to like quit, just transfer, like just go to school, whatever. And I just thought to myself, like, dang, like all these older guys, like I don't need to prove anything to them. I really don't. But they're going to remember me just for whatever reason, many different stories, whatever. And they're just going to remember, oh, like he kind of sucked. And I knew I didn't suck. Like I just wasn't where I was. Like there was a drop off, obviously. And COVID to me was kind of a blessing because like I woke up every day. I just worked out. I grinded. I'd do my schoolwork, play some Modern Warfare, whatever, But like that was my chance to get back. And that was the hardest I think I've ever worked in my life. And then to have my grandpa, who was like such a big figure in my life, pass away. Someone I thought would be there to see me win national championships, see me to get to play. Like he was at every game, anything I did, That one really hurt, but like I think it just gave me an opportunity to just keep going harder and harder. And then you hit points where it's like a bump in the road. Like you guys talked about next man up. I'm living proof of that because last year I was behind 2 great All-American safeties. And it's a grind. Like I prepared every week as if I was going to start, and I didn't. And at some point I was like, someone could go down. I got to be ready to fill those shoes. And there were many times in the season where it was like up and down, like, here's my week. Like someone might get hurt, I'm going to be prepared. And at one point I just gave up on it. Like I still prepared and did all my work, but I was like, you know what? No one's going to get hurt. This is probably a good thing. We don't want any injuries. I wasn't praying for an injury. I don't want to see anyone have a downfall, especially after I've experienced it. But then I had that opportunity, and I come in. I had a good, 3-game stretch, whatever. And it was just like, this is what it is. Like, this is my chance to really just set off. Like, just to finally, after all those years, all those days, weeks, months of grinding, to have it pay off. It was just, it's like a dream come true. Like to actually be on the field with my brothers now, like playing every down, you get done with the game, and it's a little different when you play every play. Like after playing 70 plays, you wake up the next day, I'm hurting right now. I'll tell you what, I am hurting right now, but like,
play with you.
it's just it's like a bunch of things, like family, friends, mentors, like my brothers. And then the people that, like Geno Smith said, like they wrote me off, I didn't write back, whatever. You can say that all you want, but I knew like I had talked to Colin Crenshaw, he was my coach freshman year. Like, he said, coming in, like, we expected you to be like one of the younger guys up with everyone, and like you came in, you know, you weren't like what we thought. Obviously, like I could only walk 2 weeks leading up to camp. The first time I sprinted was that camp freshman year, and like just to hear that, it was like, oh, they know like what I could be, but they don't see it now, and I was just really motivated to kind of just show people what I was, because a lot of people just like tell me nowadays too, like, I remember you freshman year, I just thought you sucked. Like, it's not like that. Like, I'm a good player. It's just sometimes everyone has different journeys.
Literally.
And it doesn't, you can write people off, you can have this journey, that journey. It doesn't matter. We're all here for the same reason. What is that?
Yeah, COVID was definitely interesting, and it was difficult to deal with because we didn't have, our football season. And even that, spring season was weird. But I mean, I'm glad we got to play football, but it was just different. It was an opportunity. But
First time I started.
yeah,
First time I ever even played.
yeah, you were at home
I was
watching
at home
because what
watching.
was it, like the second practice? when
Yeah,
you got hurt?
no,
Or
it was
it
2 weeks before.
2 weeks?
2 weeks before the spring season was gonna happen.
Sheesh. Dang. But even for myself, that's when I really started to, tap in and grind and just get better at my craft. And I took online classes too, so I was just, I'm gonna do my homework or whatever, and then I'm locked in football, and that's it. And I felt like I definitely had a tremendous growth because of, the lockdown and COVID. Even though it was difficult for a lot of people, it was difficult for me too. But I also came out as a better person because of it.
Blessing in disguise, bro.
Blessing
I
in
say that
disguise.
all the time. I tell everybody, like, COVID was and I know it's terrible. COVID was a terrible situation, but like, real life was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I met my best friends. I met my brothers during COVID. I finally got an opportunity to start playing football during COVID. Like, if I didn't have that, if the world didn't reset when it did, I don't know where I would be right now. But that was just enough of a pause for me to like really hunker down and separate like what's important, what's not important, what do I need to be focusing my energy on, and what do I need to let go. And doing that, I mean, I'm so happy with where I'm at today. Injury and all, like, I have no regrets, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm so blessed and so grateful to be in the position that I'm in today, and to still be here, in 2022 with my brothers, and I'm still doing what I love to do, even if it's in a different way. So I mean, like, I'm extremely grateful for it.
It's like we've said this whole time, like with the injuries and stuff, it's just kind of how you take it. Like, you will have so many different like situations where you got to face adversity, and it's just kind of how you take it mentally. Like, yeah, it just is. I mean, you got to adapt somehow, and like boiling water can make like a potato soft or like an egg hard. Like, it's just, you gotta see how your environment, like,
Sound like that.
you gotta adapt to your
I'm gonna steal that.
you gotta adapt to your environment. Like, you're not always gonna have the same environment. There's gonna be things that come up, but it's just how you take it and where you go from there.
All right, you talk about adapting to your environment. I know that, or we all know that football, you can't play it forever. So, knowing that, like, what does life after football look like for you guys? Have you guys started, thinking about that, or like, what's your plans? Start Duke?
Man, life after football. I still continue. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to play football as long as I can. So let's just put that out there. Then I feel like after I get done playing football, I still want to work around sports. So that's why I'm trying to get like my thing going. Whether I'm just like doing a tour just like camps, or like I'm just working in the organization. I just want to be working around something that I know. So like working on sports and just being around, because I like business, but sports a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm with Duke. I want to stay around sports, football especially, for the rest of my life. Like, football has given me so much, and so I just want to give back to as many athletes as I can tenfold of what I got. And so next semester I actually got an internship at Northern Arizona University as a strength coach for their football team.
Okay.
That's great, bro.
So thank you. But that's another opportunity that came around because of COVID and me being able to come back for this 5th year and play football because of COVID. Like, it worked out perfectly that I'm done with undergrad after this semester. And the head of the exercise science department here at Mount reached out to me. He was like, hey, they're looking for somebody. I put your name in because I thought that you would be a great fit for it. You're probably going to get an email here in the next couple of days. And so, to have that opportunity next semester to go out and move all the way across the country.
I love it out there.
Arizona too?
Yeah,
Cool.
Flagstaff, Arizona, man, I'm so excited. But to do that and the way I look at it is that's my springboard for the rest of my life. Like, when I land there, man, the opportunities are limitless. I can do whatever I want to do. I can go wherever I want to go. Like, I can make this exactly what I want to make it. So I do plan on staying in strength and conditioning for football for as long as I can. Because like I said, I just want to give back to all those athletes that because football gave so much to me. So
Exactly.
I feel like, I got to pay that debt back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to pay it forward to all the young guys that are coming up right now.
For me, I would say I'm not exactly sure on what I want to do after, graduation, after football. But a theme here I'm seeing is, giving back to athletes, and that's definitely one I want to do. Whether that's, being a part of, sports psychology in that field,
That's huge.
Thinking about that currently. But, life happens, things change. So I'm not really set on one specific, career path. I obviously want to be around football and around athletes. Someday have my own business of some sort. Really, I'm just open to anything right now. But I'm young, so like I said, things could change. Another opportunity can arise. So I'm just having an open mind at the end of the day.
Man, for me, it's like a number of things. Like, I have like a career path. Like, I want to get with like a professional sports organization, get in just like entry level sales. Because once like football ends, I want something that I can just pick up for like competitiveness. Like, we're all competitive.
that's what
Like,
I'm saying.
I want
Yeah.
something I can compete in. I want like something I can like, for example, with sales, like you have number of goals. Like, I want something that I can exceed and like beat those goals. I want something to work for. So like, personally, I want to get in with a professional sports organization, starting with sales, kind of see what like happens there and where I can take that. But ultimately, like lead or like get into a management role, so I can help those like that I like the people who are going through the same thing I went through to get to that point. But I also want to get the hell out of Ohio. Just
Gotta go.
like
Live
I always,
alive.
I always tell people like you either get stuck in Ohio and you're here forever, or you get out and like you can just live wherever. But I've lived in Ohio my whole life. I've only been to so many states. I want to go out to Arizona. That's the goal ultimately. Like, Nick and I might be rooming together.
Yeah, I'm saying he's gonna come with me. He's gonna be my roommate in Flagstaff.
But like, just the opportunity to go experience life in different areas, different cultures, different people. I won't forget where I'm from. I'll never forget like Mount Union, Dover, Ohio. I'll always have those dear to my heart. It's just I want to go experience life in different ways. Like, I'm open to anything at this point.
You should. What's wrong with that? For me, as long as God can, He allows me to continue to play this game. I'm gonna want to continue to play it. I'm not too sure, but there's definitely a couple of things I've been thinking about. Sports agent. I've been kind of looking around at that. Sports PR, public relations. I know coaching is one of my biggest things I've really been thinking about because I got a college football Hall of Famer LK that I'm in film with every day that I'm learning from. I have coaches that have played in higher level NFL level. That I learned from Coach Dart. D1 coaches that I just continue to pick their brains and just ask all type of questions and so that's probably where I want to go because I've been around this game so long, and I've been around a lot of people in high positions, and just have soaked that in and learned from that. So that's something I feel like I could definitely see myself doing.
Perfect. All right, so the last question we ask on this podcast on every episode is, what advice can you give to student athletes, whether that's in high school, college, whatever? What gems can you drop for them? We'll start with Duke.
Yes, sir. Don't be scared to be different. Because when I got here, it was nobody on the defensive line that was like me. They used to say, like, man, you play just like such. I was like, no, they not Duke. But, like, don't be scared to be different. Because, like, you never know. People might not like it at first, but then after a while, it's like, they gonna meet you halfway, or they gonna just accommodate you fully. So, like, don't be scared to be different. Because sometimes different is good.
Definitely. I like that. That's good. I'm gonna give another shout out real quick. Garrett Stoller, Hyper Performance. He was my strength coach, my personal trainer over the summer. He was a big part of getting me to where I'm at now. And over the summer, he sent me a sermon, and I will never forget this line from the sermon. It is, "Your eyes have not seen, and your ears have not heard what God has in store for you." And that is just that is so powerful for me. And what I took out of that the most was just believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have no idea what you're truly capable of. So buy in early, have that unwavering belief. That's why we're all here right now. Mm-hmm. All 5 of us are here because we believed in ourselves and we invested in ourselves. So if you got a goal, believe in it. If you anything, like, you just gotta fundamentally, it all comes down to believing in yourself and buying in. So that's my advice.
I have a quick one. Just for student athletes out there, be a sponge. Absorb all the information you can, because people have come before you and they've already been in the process. They know what to do, they know what not to do. So be a sponge. Like we already talked about in this episode already, adapt to your environment. Mm-hmm. That goes with anything, not even, just student athletes, like business leaders, whatever. You got to adapt to your environment. It's going to make you a better person. And then my third point is use your resources. Closed mouths don't get fed. So using your resources, asking for help, you never know where you can, go from there. So yeah, that's advice I would give.
Just a couple things. Honestly, like, never get too high, never get too low. You get too high on yourself, God's going to humble you. He's going to knock you down a pedestal. Rightfully so. It's happened to me. But never get too low, because once you lose confidence, it's hard to get back. You may never get to that next level of confidence that you were at. Another thing is just ruthless consistency. If you want to be the best at what you do, there's going to be days you don't feel like getting up, lifting, running, going to practice, doing this, whatever it might be. But you have to be ruthlessly consistent with your craft in order to get better. And I feel like that's something I wish I could go tell myself back freshman year. Like, to be the best, you have to do what the best do. And what they do is just work constantly. You got to be consistent, and you can just reach those goals. Opportunities are endless,
Mm-hmm. I got 2 things. I would say first, if you have a dream and you have a goal, continue to chase it, continue to grind, continue to put the work in, and anybody that doubts you, just use that as fuel. People are always going to say things about you, people are always going to talk about you, but you have to continue to stay locked in and focused on, what's important, and when you have that feeling inside that you know what you're capable of, you just got to stick to it and continue to trust yourself. And then second, I would say just keep your faith in God. Continue to trust Him. A lot of times, we go through certain things and we don't know why. And He puts us through certain things to see, how we react and, how that outcome will be. But, we got to continue to stay strong in our faith and continue to just work through the process. Everybody's process is different. Some people get there fast, some people get there late. Some people get there, whenever. But, your time will come. You got to continue to be patient, and continue to wait, and continue to stay humble.
Well said.
Oh, you got another one?
Go ahead, do it.
I got two
This
things.
y'all show. Go ahead.
I got two things and one off topic, but yeah, like what Ed said, with God, I said, don't be scared to put your trust in God, because without Him, I wouldn't even make it to Mount Union, to tell you the truth. And then the second one, because I was talking about my camp, I did host and plan it myself, but like I want to shout out everybody that helped me, like all my parents, my uncles, my aunties, like all people that just shared the flyer and registered their kids and all that. I just want to say I appreciate y'all. I don't think I said that yet before, but
We might as well shout out, because I got a couple I want to shout out.
All right, y'all go ahead and shout out.
I want to shout out Coach Green, my trainer, for just trusting me and, just working with me every single day to get me back, where I am now. It was a long road. I want to thank Angel and Zach, my two mentors at my church. I got baptized this past summer, and they were the ones that baptized me. I want to thank them for just the fellowship. I want to thank my mom and my dad, and my brother and my sister for just, continue to be there for me. Yeah.
I want to thank my parents, obviously, my grandparents, my whole support group, my friends, family, my coaches throughout the years, like Coach Reese, Coach Lester, Coach Jamal Johnson, just those guys who really kind of helped lead me to Mount Union. I want to thank my brothers, of course. You guys can't do it without you. You guys help fuel me every day. And specifically, I want to fuel the doubters, because you guys give me fuel every day.
Yeah, gotta let it doubt it.
Gotcha.
Gotta love them. Like I said, Garrett Stoller, High Performance, everybody there, everybody I worked out with over the summer, my parents, my brothers, Chuck Martinez, my football coach in high school, Nick Gurley, my wrestling coach in high school. And lastly, I want to shout out my girlfriend Mia. She's been my rock through everything. Like she's supported me through the highs and lows of all of this. So I owe a lot to her. I owe a lot to all those people. So just thank you to everybody who's ever been in my corner. And like Ian said, thank you to everybody who ever wasn't in my corner, because without y'all, man, I probably wouldn't be here like this either. So thank you.
Well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for being on this episode. I was looking forward to this episode, especially after yesterday. Crazy.
I was like, it's crazy that the podcast is right after. Like,
That's exactly what I was
just
thinking.
happened. Like, I'm just like, wow. That's all I'm like, man.
Hey, the story's already written, bro.
No, it's written.
Y'all
We just gotta finish.
Hey,
Stack Boots on my birthday, boy.
Oh.
Stack Boots on my birthday.
That is wild.
Present.
So, this week, stay safe, stay healthy. Just take it one day at a time, and next thing you know, you guys will be there. So,
Sir.
again, I'm going to say, appreciate you guys for being on this episode.
For sure.
Make sure, viewers out there, like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
All that.
Yep. Follow our IG, Mental Wealth Champs, and if you guys want to shout out your socials real quick, or not.
Instagram, Edwin_P21, Twitter, Edwin Reed 22.
IG and Twitter is just Android27. My IG is back. It was hacked this summer. But it is back. So if you got some weird messages, it wasn't me. I promise.
He's not trying to get your contact.
All right, my IG, IC3_the Prophet.
My IG is Nikki B. Twitter is Don Juan Nikki.
I like that.
My IG is _Duke Hill, and my Twitter is _Duke 95. Yeah.
All right, and there we have it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.